Hey, Fantasy Goats, how are you on this wonderful Monday, July 7th? July! We're here, Goats. I am your shepherd. I'm joined by two of the finest people I know, two of the finest goats I know, two of the best fantasy football minds that I know. I want to say hello to these guys. And then we're going to get started today with the veterans that we love, the veterans that are undervalued. And there's a bunch of them. Don't get me wrong. We have some household names that through the course of several drafts now that I've either partook in, monitored, seen screenshots of drafts from other people and other members of the wonderful community that we all participate in. I'm seeing like some household names that are going in rounds where it's just like, wow, screaming value. But these are veterans. We're going to stick to the veterans today.
Yeah.
And look, we're coming at you guys now 4 times a week. I was going to say 3, but it's really 4. Absolutely must like and subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate that. We are going to be coming at you with content for days now, leading right up to the 2025 NFL season. It's almost here. It'll be here next week.
Shoot, the first preseason game is 3 weeks away.
It's soon.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is, man. I'm all about that. I want to see some people hit each other, man.
That's not the event that's been on my mind, although, yes, you are 100% correct. The first preseason game is in a few weeks, but I've got a special event in 2 weeks. I've got the Scottish Bowl Live New York City draft. That's in now 13 days. 14 days. No. Actually, what am I saying? Today's Monday. I'm a little thrown off with the holiday. Yeah, 12 days from now, I will be in New York City drafting the Scottish Bowl. The majority of the Scottish Bowl actually kicked off today. We know many people that are doing their online drafts. Very exciting times. But yeah, Rhino hit the head right on the button.
Yeah, I actually got a text from one of my best friends. I've known her for like 30 years, and she got in the Scottish Bowl. She's pretty excited. She don't like the 8-hour draft time, but
no. Neither does this Wonder Woman.
No,
she doesn't. I mean, like, look, we sign up for it. We recognize that people are on many different schedules, different time zones, actually.
Different countries.
Right, yeah, different time zones, and yeah, like, it's kind of necessary. Plus, it gives you a real liberty of, like, taking your time with the pick. I mean, like, when I say liberty, like, yeah, you technically, I don't think anyone's really sitting there, JX, for like 7 hours and like going through like articles, going through reports, going through. I don't think that. But like, yeah, like, okay, fine. Like, if you've got to do this with the children, and then you've got to do this for work, and then all of a sudden 3.5, 4 hours went by, and you're still on the clock. Yeah, so I think it's in place. It's a good measure in place for those. It's actually going rather faster. Yes, and it does go. It does go in those ebbs and flows. Yeah. So like sometimes certain clusters take more than other times, other parts of the draft, and then it picks up again. Anyway, how was your weekend, gentlemen? How was the holiday weekend?
Yesterday was awesome. I enjoyed the golfing with my 2 best friends, and started off rough. Hit a roof of a house. It's the first I've ever done that.
Oh,
I sliced that bitch so bad. But once I started getting out of my own head, man, I started finished the last 6 holes with 4 bogeys and 2 pars. So
not terrible.
Yeah.
My issue is I can't stick with golf. So I have this thing, right, where if I'm not good at something, I kind of stop doing it. So I can never get the ball to go in a straight line. I can't. It's always going to my left. Every single time I hit him, it's always going to my left. So I kind of put golf on my back burner. Not something for me right now. I think I'll get there, but not right now.
It's one of the most aggravating sports activities that I've ever tried to pick up.
You know what though?
Has to be the most aggravating.
We stopped keeping score, on the scorecard. So when you go without any expectations, you have more fun. Between that and I cooked a beautiful pulled pork on Friday. Damn, those are my highlights of the weekend.
Now, the pulled pork part I like. No, I like the fact that you were golfing too. I mean, look, if you golf, if you're into it, then that's fun as fuck. JX, baby, how was your 4th of July?
That was great. A great weekend. It was great to spend time with family. But also we got to wrap up our draft this weekend that took all but 5-6 days. So I'm glad that was finally put to rest after a long draft.
I'm staring at it, as a matter of fact.
How's your team look?
Well, I'm sure we'll pop it up.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's pretty impeccable.
He did.
In my opinion. So
he did it. He stood on business like you stood on a lot of business. I'm not sure I stood on a lot of business in my draft. On our draft, I stood on some business, but then I actually went to go pivot on a few players. So sometimes it's not that you change your mind, but we're still on go. This is ongoing affair. We're adjusting our takes on players, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And
no, not at all.
One of those players I do have listed to talk about. But yeah, no, your draft. Look, you guys kicked off under a 4-hour clock at the same time as a League 2 under an 8-hour clock, and they're still going.
Ooh, okay.
It's been a little rough there, but I mean, yeah, again, ebb and flow. Look, I have no doubt.
Neither do I.
It kind of looks impeccable.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to give it a grade between 1 to 10, I'd give it a 13. But I'm biased, so.
But I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that at all. You have a great mind.
We want to do a special thank you to everyone who participated in this league and all of the leagues, all of the Fantasy Goats Invitational, 6 leagues, 12 members per league, up from 4 last season. It's been an absolute blast. We've now launched the Baby Goats Invitational.
Yes, we have.
For those who have not played fantasy yet, now I recognize that it might be few and far between that are listening to this PSA/promotion. However, figured I might as well just put it down. Maybe for a short, who knows?
Hey, maybe somebody's wife wants to learn, but doesn't want to learn from her husband. Bring her here.
Touche.
We got coaches set up to help you guys guide through the process, man.
Just like you are like the primary person responsible for this league, you will now be the sole person responsible for any legal fees, divorce fees, anything along those lines. Any domestic disputes, I really want no part of.
Gotcha.
All right, gentlemen, let's get into the veterans that we think are undervalued. I don't know if it needs to be like completely, totally out of whack, way undervalued, but just undervalued in general. They're going in parts of the draft that they seem to be steals. They seem to be they could very well smash their ADPs. They're undervalued players currently. Will this change? Possibly. Well, when we hit like the second, third week of August, and all the home leagues are going right at it, yeah, I could definitely see some of these guys not being drafted where they are. So I'm not sure if that makes them undervalued or not, because the ADPs will correct themselves to some degree. But who would like to kick us off with an undervalued veteran? By the way, sniper veteran technically is anybody that's not a rookie. Technically. I don't have any 2-year players here, or I don't.
No, neither do I.
Well, traditionally, a veteran is someone that's like old. A veteran.
You know how to describe the guys I think we're talking about? You ever have like something you put in your pantry, and then you get new stuff, and it keeps getting put back in the pantry farther and farther and farther and farther? That's what I kind of feel like with these guys. We're going to talk about.
Yeah.
And since I'm yapping right now, I'll go on with mine.
Please continue.
I'm actually going to say a quick one. I'm going to give you a quick one, and then I'm going to give you the one I'm really deep in on here. The first one is Justin Jefferson. I know you're like, Justin Jefferson. Well, I mean, he's Justin Jefferson, but I don't feel like he's highly touted. Like, we don't talk to him as high as he is. He really should be every year a top 3 player picked, but it's just different every year. But the person I do want to talk about, someone we've talked about before, Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is going right now relatively quarterback 15. He's right around Justin Herbert, who has unproven weapons, Jordan Love, who is as streaky as all hell, and Drake May, who we don't know nothing about. He has no run game. They have no one to throw or run hand the ball up to. So Dak's going to be tossing the ball over the place. And something that I think I might have brought up before is that Javonte Williams caught the ball very quietly a lot last year. So I think that increases to the pass game with George Pickens as well. Jake Ferguson's still there, and we all know about CeeDee Lamb. QB 15 is just, like I said, it just seems like everyone just pushing him to the back burner for, Caleb is getting all the praise, and Baker from last year, and Bo Nix MVP season maybe. So,
JJ McCarthy.
JJ McCarthy too. We just need to, make sure Dak's up there. It's only been one season, and he was quarterback 3 in the whole thing. So he's not far from that.
Pickens now too.
Yeah, so they got Pickens as well. Yeah.
Yeah, but and Jason Ferguson isn't a tight end you can sleep on either.
No.
So I agree with you. I agree. I like that.
It's like stigma. It's like people are nervous. People are scared of Dak. People don't remember that Dak has had 4,000-yard passing seasons and 40 touchdown seasons, and it's almost like an every other year type of deal, just like another veteran player who's not necessarily undervalued, but CMC, it's almost like every other year it's on and off. Dak Prescott, when Dak Prescott's on, he's pretty much lights out. Let's take a look here. Seasons. So 23, he had 36 touchdowns. In 21, he had 37 touchdowns. In between that, 2022 is 23 touchdowns. It's like every other year. 2024, 11 touchdowns. In 2019, in 16 games, in a 17-game season, 30 touchdowns, 4,900 yards. Goats, 4,900 yards. And then he did 44 in 2021. He did 45 in 2023. Where Dak is drafted right now, he's being undervalued. It's an undervalued veteran, without question. Yeah, now,
I wonder if part of it has to do with Schottenheimer too. Not really knowing, what that's going to look like with him. Everybody knew what Kellen Moore was like. Everybody knew what McCarthy was like as an OC and head coach. But Schottenheimer, that could be why they're undervaluing him a little bit too.
It's possible. I mean, I would think like some of the savvier players are like possibly taking that into account. And then I think they're also taking into account that like okay, like it's Dak Prescott is not really giving us anything in terms of rushing value because he doesn't use his legs. But yeah, but when he's on for a full season, he throws 4,500 and he throws 35, 38 touchdowns. I mean, these are good. That's a good fantasy quarterback right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, there's nothing here to suggest that this is valued, or and it sure as hell ain't overvalued. This is an undervalued veteran going in the late rounds of your draft, without question. Without question. Bacon injury. I mean, there's a lot of things to bake into this.
Yeah.
I mean, the last time really Brian Schottenheimer would really, I would say, a big part of the offense was 2018 for Seattle. If I remember correctly, that was probably one of Russell Wilson's best years. So if I go strictly off that, we gotta think that there's gonna be some good things going on in Dallas, because I know we've said before, well, he hasn't really shown us anything before because we remember the Rams days. But I mean, during that time, who was the quarterback for the Rams really? So I don't want to hold that against him. Like I said, I want to hold his most previous work, and that has been with the Cowboys for the past 3 or 4 years or so, and then before that with Seattle when they let Russ cook a little bit. So if it's any signs of that, Dak should be all right.
I'm going to agree. I do have a tiny bit of bias. Tiny bit. I have a share of Dak. I do. I also traded. Oh no. Oh no, Dak's still my quarterback on a dynasty team. Yeah. That's a 4-point touchdown league also, by the way. So like if you're in one of those folks still in a startup dynasty, and you really want to punt on quarterback,
oh yeah,
I would say Dak is like a really good pick.
Yeah.
I mean, again, you may not get the good combinations that Jaden Daniels, like if you don't have the opportunity to draft Jaden Daniels or Lamar or Josh Allen for that purpose of getting the 6-point touchdown. However, if you don't get them, then I would just punt the entire position for several rounds. Nevertheless, most of us aren't really playing in a 4-point touchdown league. I don't really like it, whatever. But Dak Prescott's a good draft pick. Rhino, would you like to go, or should we stay on quarterbacks? I don't know. I had it in my mind to talk about quarterbacks this week, to revisit the rankings. But I mean, look, if we're going through quarterbacks now, we might as well just continue to go on quarterbacks, stay on quarterbacks, because they are veterans. Most of them are veterans.
I'll do quarterback now.
Oh, you are all right. By all means, give us a veteran that we love that is undervalued in 2025.
Matthew Stafford. Why? Why is he going at quarterback freaking 20? I think right now. Why? Help me make sense of it. If they're going off. Oh, he's old. Bite me. He has Puka Nacua, he has Devontae Adams. He's got a really good young tight end that can stretch the field and do more things. They've said they're going to open it up. They need to be faster. They got Jaquez Hunter, who catch the ball out of the backfield. Why? He threw for 3,762 yards yesterday or last year. Only 8 interceptions. In 2021, he threw 4,886, 41 touchdowns, 17 interceptions. So he could stay somewhere in between there. Even like in 2023, is almost 4,000 yards. But people are drafting an unknown and JJ McCarthy before him. It doesn't make sense to me. If this was Tom Brady, they wouldn't be drafting him at our quarterback 20.
That's the GOAT.
I'm just saying, like he was old too. So if you're gonna be biased about age, be biased about age for all quarterbacks. It doesn't make sense.
For Stafford, it's just because of the 2 down years back to back, right? So out of context, it looks pretty bad. But if you realize the season really split in half last year, without weapons and with weapons.
Exactly.
When he was without weapons, it made the whole year look bad. But when he had his weapons, he was really good. Like he was on an absolute tear. And no one likes to draft the old guys. Coupled with that down season, Matthew Stafford's going to be last quarterback taken, like he's Kirk Cousins or something. But
he ended up being the top 15, top 10.
Could be.
Yeah.
So speaking of JJ McCarthy, our very own JX Fantasy did take JJ. Well, 1 round ahead of Stafford, 2 rounds ahead of Stafford. I mean, the unknown of JJ McCarthy over the proven commodity in Matthew Stafford. Now, Matthew Stafford was taken 14.3 as a QB2. Now we've spoken about this. Like, there's no reason why someone shouldn't take him as the QB2, but he's not going as a quarterback 1. He's not a top 12. Should he be a top 12? I mean, I don't know if the stats are bearing that. There's still there's upside to him, but
stats could be misleading sometimes.
Of course, well, of course it can. Absolutely. But let's go to something that's maybe not as misleading. A couple of those down years, just visibly down, with a makeshift offensive line, and then the year before that, a couple of, a little bit of an injury, minor injury, but still, nevertheless, a couple of missed games. And what else is there? I mean, like, there's
I will say also, I mean, and this is how long he's been playing, but like, just think how big the growth of the mobile quarterback has been since the time he started till now. Like, literally half the NFL has a mobile quarterback, and if you're mobile, that equals fantasy points. So him being immobile kind of starts him at 15, and kind of goes from there. I mean, because I wouldn't be shocked if anybody took Justin Fields over Matt Stafford, but I mean, in real life, you wouldn't dare. But in fantasy football, give me Justin Fields.
I think just like Prescott, though, they're not told to run, but if they want to run, they can get in the end zone. They can get a first down if they want to.
Mm-hmm.
They're not running a 4-5, 4-3, 4-4. Might be running a 4-7, but like Prescott, they both can get it if they need to.
Yeah.
But they don't need to because they are pocket passers.
Yeah. That can keep you honest. I don't know if Stafford can keep you as honest as he used to.
No, not used to be. He still can be honest with his arm.
Hey, I mean, if all things come to fruition in terms of how they want to utilize the Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua situation, you've got Kyron running the ball, you've got this dude, Chris Hunter, you've got a rookie tight end working in tandem with an experienced veteran tight end. Doesn't make this list, but nevertheless, with a good defense, an underrated defense. Yeah, we'll get into underrated, undervalued in another segment, another show. But yeah, like this team could really be firing on all cylinders. I'm not saying that like I actually have to. I kind of feel the same way as you do, and I'm not the Rams guy here. Like, I think this would be the team to a definite candidate to go back to the Super Bowl again. Everything's got to line up properly, though. Everything that the way McVay envisions using Adams, using Puka, all that volume going from Stafford to these guys. I mean, shit, he's trying to recreate his version of the greatest show on turf, like he did back in 2021 when it was like he was playing a game. He was like literally playing like a video game out there. All right. Am I up?
You're up.
Am I? All right. Well, I'm gonna scrap one because I didn't want to make it 3 quarterbacks in a row. And I'm gonna go to a wide receiver, one of Sniper's wide receivers, because I have a feeling that this dude is just undervalued. He is youngish in his 3rd season, but I'm going with Jaden Reed. He's not that strong in the camp. I'm trying to talk myself into another Packers wide receiver. Why? Because I believe in the passing attack, much like I believe in the Niners passing attack, much like I believe in the Rams passing attack. But we have different sets of circumstances here. We have a Jordan Love under center, and I think that they are going to get back to this passing game.
I think so.
Especially if dude is healthy. Now here's the kicker. You could get Jaden Reed in like the 8th, 9th round in the same spot as you're drafting Matthew Golden, who hasn't stepped onto a professional football field yet. Now that something doesn't make sense to me there.
Mm-mm.
We actually have a bird in the hand with Jaden Reed, who we know is utilized all over the formation, is an explosive receiver in space. When Christian Watson's not on the field, Jaden Reed is locked in with Jordan Love. And so again, if you're on the other side of the coin where, okay, the Green Bay Packers always want to distribute the ball to the open guy, and what these 2 wide receivers are doing, and they know that they're not set up to get the ball, is exactly what they're supposed to be doing to set up the guy that is getting the ball. So Sniper, for fantasy, is he being the $1 million question is he being undervalued? Could we see this dude returning back to his rookie season form? I mean, like, again, I think the circumstances last year were Jordan Love was hurt most of the season. The wide receiver core in general was banged up, and they relied on Josh Jacobs like a workhorse. I don't know if Josh Jacobs is going to get that same type of volume. I'm going to go with Jaden Reed here. Is an undervalued play here in this part of the draft where it's not costing you much. I don't think I'd be reaching up for him a couple of rounds. I'd probably take some shots with some other dudes in a round or 2 earlier. But if 9th round, deep roster, bench.
I'd sprinkle.
You sprinkle what? You sprinkle.
I mean, the only thing about, I'm not gonna say Jaden Reed. It's just the Green Bay Packer wide receiver room. There was too many instances last year where he only had 3 targets, 4 targets. His season high was 8 targets, but that was one time out of 17 weeks. It's just like there's no one to rely on there. Even with Jaden Reed being the most explosive guy, there's so much hesitation to just draft any of them.
I feel you. I really do. This screams like, okay, you know what? You're safer play if you're hell-bent, like we know some people are hell-bent on taking Packers. You might as well just go with the dude that's distributing the ball, or you might as well go with the running back. Who are the best? Who are the top 2 wide receivers for the Packers? Are we counting out Romeo? I don't know if I would count out Romeo. I don't know.
Romeo just scares me because of concussions.
That part doesn't scare me. What scares me is he kind of like disappears in this passing attack. That's what scares me.
Yeah, and what scares me is they added to the already deep room. They have Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Bo Melton, Dontavian Wicks, and Jaden Reed.
Yeah,
and then they have Luke Musgrave, Tyler Kraft, and then they decided to draft Savion Williams and Marcus Golden. Dude, that's I don't have enough fingers to count. That's 12 guys,
now
11 guys.
Bo Melton is training to be a DB. Isn't he switched over to be a DB or something like that?
He's if he still wants to wear the uniform.
They should put it in opinion with the defensive backs.
I forgot, I had like a brain freeze. I forgot about my guy Savion Williams. Is their Debo? That's their Debo. That's their gadget guy. Yeah, there's a lot of mouths to feed. I get it. I did want to just again, Jayden Reed. There was like no volume to him last season. It was a lousy passing season for the Packers. Yeah, and they kind of limped into the playoffs in a really tough division, and then they got smoked. I'm sorry, Sniper. 9th round for a dude that is capable. Like if they do get locked in. See, I kind of feel like I don't want to just necessarily play into the narrative that makes total, complete sense. Everything that we're saying, everything that I'm talking ourselves into, everything that you're talking, it makes all the perfect sense. But like we all know that's not how things usually go either. What if? Well, that's why I went to I wouldn't necessarily count out Romeo Doubs. I wouldn't. We have a really good book on Romeo. We have a good book on Jayden Reed. We have an unfortunate book with Christian Watson. The wild cards, the books that we don't have, are the 2 rookies. So let me turn it right back. Like, okay, if you had to select between a healthy Christian Watson, never a concussed Romeo Doubs, or a Jayden Reed, who would it be? Who's going first here?
Christian Watson for me.
I would say Jayden Reed.
I would go Jayden Reed too.
I would go Jayden Reed. I don't think anyone's a wrong answer. I don't think it's a wrong answer either one of the
no. And the reason I say Watson is because he seems to get a lot of the red zone targets.
Mm-hmm.
And the deep ball. He go 4 catches for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns. Just because of 2 deep balls and 2 10-yard passes.
Yeah.
You know what Romeo is? Romeo's been one of those good football players when he's on the field and healthy. He's a football player. He's really going to get us the fantasy numbers that we want? No, not really. He's good. I think he's a good blocker, and he knows his assignments. He's reliable when his number's called. But I think that there's a cap to his role in this offense. Christian Watson has a role in the offense, but again, Christian Watson, although we saw him running those drills, the exercises, because he went to go see the guru himself, looked good for someone who tore his knee. I don't know if he's going to be ready. Brandon Ayuk's most likely starting out on the pup, but I can't imagine why Christian Watson would be accelerated.
No.
He got injured later. All right, yeah, I would consider strongly at this part of the draft, Jayden Reed. This dude could wind up putting in numbers that would exceed the ADP is. That's all. In all reality, for fantasy purposes, I do agree with what you all are saying. I would never admit it. I would never admit it. Again, I mean, I think Matthew Golden has a shot of being a good wide receiver. What's his role going to be? I think Savion Williams is going to have a role. We kind of think that we know what that role is going to be. This kind of like take the jet sweeps, take these crazy play design with 3 bunched on the left hand side, and then like Savion just like disappears and then reappears wide open. I could see this.
What I read today was Golden gonna move Golden around because he can be interchangeable. He can be X, Y. He can be slot. So they're gonna move him around. Probably move around to find the best fit or I can't think.
There was no way on God's green earth that they would draft in the first round wide receiver without having someone to be as flexible as possible. They weren't drafting another X wide receiver like Christian Watson. No.
I would not be surprised if this time next year Savion Williams is like the most fun guy we're talking about, because at the end of the season he runs for one and he catches one and he has like 3 catches for 60 yards, and I just they're just playing hockey. They're playing hockey in Green Bay. They just have 3 lines of wide receivers. Like, I mean, it's gonna be a mess for the foreseeable future. We're gonna have this conversation every offseason with the Packers.
Well, I mean, we're here for it. It happens to be one of those teams that we love to talk about, like the Steelers. We love to hate them. I mean, it's just one of those teams. Savion Williams, man. I don't know what it is about him. I like him. I like the.
I know everybody does though. Hey, look, he's a fun player.
What was that? You know what I was about to say, and it then skipped and jumped, and then I found it again. During the season when some dude scores that I know nobody has in fantasy, I'll tweet out that helps nobody. I have a feeling we'll be doing that with Savion Williams until. And if that continues to happen enough, like it did with Nick Westbrook-Akine, then you become a waiver addition. So I mean, that's what winds up happening. All right, Rhino, why don't you pull double duty if you get.
Let's
go right.
Let's go with tight end for the Patriots, Hunter Henry.
Another one of snipers. Look at that.
Yeah, Hunter Henry, man. The most slept on tight end. This just consistently top 10, top 12, right on the edge there. Always forgotten about, but really consistent tight end that, like I said, we just overlooked. He became one of Drake May's favorite targets towards the end of last season. He started week 6 and, of course, finished the season out to week 17. And throughout that time, like I said, Hunter Henry finished tight end 13. Yeah. And where he's being drafted right now is undraftable. So, if you want to think about taking your tight end late, taking an Evan Ingram late, taking a Kyle Pitts late or Dalton Kincaid late.
Travis Kelce late.
Yeah, any one of those guys late. If you want to have somebody to back him up, Hunter Henry is going to be right there for you, and he could be potentially a top 15 finishing tight end.
And then if you think about it, Josh McCown is the OC, and look how good Gronk did. How well they used Gronk.
Well, yeah.
As him as the OC. Mm-hmm. That's something I just totally forgot about until just now. So yeah, I agree. If he's there, I'm going to grab him.
I mean, he's going to be undrafted. I don't think I've seen him picked one time.
He was just picked in the league in the draft I'm in right now.
Did he? Okay. Yeah. I mean, and maybe people are on it, but like I said, usually, I mean, I think he might be being selected right now about tight end 20 something. So yeah, if you can pick him up towards later rounds and have him as your second tight end, you're gonna have a strong tight end room.
Yeah.
Mr. Magic Goat, ladies and gentlemen, boys and goats. So Mr. Magic Goat is calling for another tight end in the AFC East. Dalton Kincaid is someone. Yeah, is he undervalued? Do we love Dalton Kincaid? I mean, he came into the league with a lot of buzz, a lot of promise, and he's still very young too, right? I mean, Dalton Kincaid could be one of those guys. Hunter Henry, on the flip side to young, is kind of creeping up there in age. And yes, me and Sniper did have a conversation about Hunter Henry because she was thinking about, or is thinking about, pulling the trigger on Travion Henderson for Scott Fishbowl. But then her biggest dilemma from there, are you ready? Then she's not sure if she could pair Travion with a friend later on in the draft. So then I just reminded her that of all the other friends that Sniper could add for Travion Henderson.
Yeah, Kyle Williams, again, Hunter Henry. I would pass on Travion Henderson anyway. Yeah, I like Hunter Henry.
You are the GOAT school. Always. You were like the charter member of the GOAT school. Still are. Hunter, the Hunter. Yeah. Drake May, he's going to have to. I mean, he does have a rapport with Hunter Henry, I suppose. Right? It's not.
Oh, yeah. No, he's.
Yeah.
He would. I mean, of course, they didn't have any weapons last year. To really throw the ball to, but I mean, every a young quarterback's best friend is a tight end.
Yep.
The biggest guy that's right in front of you that's supposed to catch everything. And that's Hunter Henry. And like it's seems like it's been for year after year after year. No matter if it's Jacoby Brissett or if it's Mac Jones or if it's Drake May, Hunter Henry's been there consistently for every single one of them.
He's quarterback proof.
Yeah,
he is.
He is quarterback proof.
It's weird saying that about tight end, but you just get off all those names. At Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, Bailey Zappi.
Quarterback proof.
All of them. And he's consistently tight end 12, tight end 13, tight end 11, tight end 10, tight end 13. And it's just like, we'll just, and every single year, like I said, it's pushed back. Tight end 20, tight end 21, tight end 22.
Yeah, I like that.
Mr. Magic. Which rookie? Oh, see, the Mr. Magic Goat already answered. Hampton. Well, I don't know if I would do. Oh, God, that's a tough question. It really is. Do you believe?
Because
if you believe that Najee Harris isn't going to have a significant share of the running back touches, then you want to draft a Marion Hampton and don't even hesitate. If you think that Najee Harris is going to have a significant share of that backfield one way or another, then the talent is over in New England with Travion Henderson and that upside in the passing game and his explosive ability. Marion Hampton he does have that explosive tick, but he's more of the bulldozer.
Mm-hmm.
He's more of the guy that's going to he's going to plow over for 5.6, 6.1.
And be gone.
And then be gone.
Yep.
And then be gone, yeah. Let me ask you this question. Colston Loveland, Tyler Warren, and Dallas Goedert are all ranked ahead of Hunter Henry. Would you take any of them?
I'm picking Warren in a lot.
Yeah, I'm taking Warren for sure. Yeah.
Loveland scares me a little bit because he's injured. I'm just not sure about how that will look with Cole Kmet, but yeah, Warren I'm definitely taking.
And the reason I ask was because, okay, granted, you've got two of these dudes that, again, complete unknowns, rookies, but then you do have Ferguson, you do have Dallas Goedert. These are veterans that are going ahead of Hunter Henry. Why is that? Hunter Henry, I don't see him being much worse.
Mm-mm.
Not at all. But I think where did Magic Goat say tight ends late? Yes, that I'm on board with. Then there was another comment that's the comment I left up. My eyes on tight end are Ingram.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
The Joker.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Joker. I don't believe in Cortland Sutton. I do believe in Marvin Mims. And I believe in Evan Ingram. I believe that he's the big body that will get the attention of Bo Nix. I think he's the big body that they're going to look to in the end zone. I think he is the dude that will line up in the slot. And while Cortland Sutton is busy dragging some DB Evan Ingram will be mismatched on someone else, on a nickel. Yeah, I'm big on Evan Ingram. I still haven't. I need to get a piece of Evan Ingram. That's what we need to do.
I have a couple of my leagues.
I need a piece of him. 8th round pick in this draft. 8th round pick.
Yeah.
That might be a home run. Home run. All right. Give us another one. One more.
All right, Jonathan Taylor.
Now you're cooking.
I know. Okay, so why is he going 3rd or in the 4th round when he should be going in the 2nd round? Why is he going before? Why is he going 2 rounds after CMC?
That is a great question. That is a really great question.
It amazes me. I think our guy AP got him in the 3rd round, and then another draft we just did, he went in the third round. And I just did another draft, and he went in the 4th round. I was like, I don't understand. Somebody help me understand this, because 1,431 yards last year, 11 touchdowns. You know.
It's perplexing to a certain degree. Should note the draft that I'm looking at, FG Invitational 3. He was drafted in the 2nd round, but I do know that he is going later in certain drafts as well. He is going like in the 3rd, early 3rd, mid 3rd.
I seen Joe Mixon go before him. I'm thinking, what the hell?
Don't you
want to win a league?
Look, we've had this conversation. We've had this conversation with our with another shepherd,
Yeah.
AB. The thing with Jonathan Taylor, I think, is the fact that all of that piled on, all that production came within like the last few weeks. All of it. And when I say all of it, those were monster games.
They were monster weeks. I lost in the playoffs because of that.
Those were back-breaking, league-winning performances.
But other than the prior 2 years when he was hurt, he still put up good numbers.
Yeah.
You know?
So, I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. You want to put a little bit on the fact that he's creeping up in age. That might be part of it. You want to put in a little bit on the fact of what we just said, that a lot of that production, and when you parse it all out to what his fantasy points per game were, a lot of it comes from those final few weeks. And yeah, so other seasons where he's been injured, he's put up good numbers. But let's go to the first part of that statement. Seasons that he's been injured, so we have to take that into account. He misses games,
injured, but he's going in the freaking 1st round.
Who?
CMC.
Yeah, I mean,
okay, I get it. CMC.
And
you're
he's
right. You're
like 3 years younger than CMC.
You are looking at this kind of like blindly. Like, why are we giving more credit and credence to CMC than Jonathan Taylor when they're really not that far off from one another? They're really not. No real passing utility for Jonathan Taylor. That could be part of it as well. He's not really utilized in the passing game.
But he can catch the ball. I've had this conversation about Kyron Williams too earlier. I've had too many conversations about Kyron Williams lately. But they may comment about he doesn't catch the ball. Well, yeah, if he's not being told to go out and run a route, he's not going to catch the ball. But he can catch the ball. Jonathan Taylor can catch the ball. He only had 12 receptions, but a couple years ago, I think he had like 36, something like that. I took down the stats, so. But he can catch. He's just not asked to catch.
My only hope for Jonathan Taylor is that, because this isn't Jonathan Taylor's fault. I believe this is Shane Steichen's fault.
Yeah.
Shane Steichen waited until the end of the year to lean on the best player he has.
Yeah.
Before then, all he wanted to do, no matter if it was Joe Flacco or Anthony Richardson, he just wanted to throw the ball 50 yards down the field every other play. That's all he wanted to do. But then the last 4 weeks of the season, he said, okay, look, we're going to just run it with Jonathan Taylor until that's what they need to do week 1 to week 18 next year.
If you want to win the division, you run. You utilize your best damn player, and that's Jonathan Taylor on that team.
Give him 20 carries a game. Give Anthony Richardson 10 carries a game.
Yeah.
And run over the AFC South. Because that's the best shot you got.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not a JT guy.
No.
I'm not, but you make a good argument. You do.
You're not about bringing sexy back?
I'm not about bringing that sexy back.
You're not going to cry me a river?
What if I told you I have those threes? Those threes that he wore at the Super Bowl. No, I'm not. Looking at this, I would roll the dice on CMC here. I think I would roll the dice on Devon A-Chain, the only real Dolphin I want. Yeah. You want to get into a Dolphin? We get into a Dolphin. Bucky Irving could have went where Jonathan Taylor went, but it's like you should not be taking Bucky Irving before JT. JT did go in the second round. I think JT's probably priced well here, but we have seen JT fall as well. It is perplexing and something I do want to take a look at. Is Jalen Waddle, is he undervalued at this point? Devontae Smith? How about Devontae Smith?
Big time undervalued.
How about the GOAT of GOATs? Devontae Smith.
I don't know if Devontae Smith is overvalued or undervalued. Only because of the production that A.J. Brown had last year. Because if he's not going to come close to A.J. Brown in numbers. So if you just, if AJ can't get 1,000, it's going to be tough for Devontae to get 1,000. That's really where I'm coming from.
What about Mahomes? Mahomes is undervalued too.
Talk about Mahomes tomorrow.
Well, okay. Sorry. Damn. I just got warm. Tomorrow. Go to my office and give you 5 whippings.
I got this whole thing on Mahomes.
Well, I can't wait to hear it. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight now.
I got this whole thing on Mahomes. But he's definitely undervalued, so I'm just going to bridge. I'm going to bridge this portion, this topic, into tomorrow's quarterbacks. Because I do want to talk about the quarterback. I do want to get into some of these guys like Knicks, like Mahomes, like Baker. Let's talk about the top 3 that are all going in the second and third round. I mean, I get it. But as much as I would love to have Josh Allen, I can't do it. But let's talk about that more tomorrow. Devontae Smith is now considered undervalued.
Yeah.
It took 5 seasons, but from 2022 on now, he's kind of played the second man. He's kind of played the 1A because of A.J. Brown. The problem for us is the fact that he's the better wide receiver. He's actually the better of the 2.
I think so too.
Now, unless something takes place where they just have a reworked offensive game plan and playbook, which is not that far out of the question with a new play caller. I do, and not just a new play caller, for the 3rd straight season, a new play caller. It wouldn't be that out of the question that targets go to Devontae Smith that typically would have gone to A.J. Brown. They technically could both do the same thing. Technically.
They both could be 1A, 1B like Chase and Higgins. If they decide to throw the ball more.
That's the other problem.
Yeah.
Well,
That's the other problem.
Yeah, that's the problem. Were you going to say it?
If I remember to, sure, of course. That's definitely. Let me put it this way: if I were, I'd be remiss. We would be remiss if we didn't mention that part as well. And yeah, that's a big problem. JX, I know you're burning right now.
I mean, I don't like to talk about it. Honestly, I don't really like to bring up the
Rhino.
the elephant in the room when it comes to their passing game. I mean, it's just realistic what it is. I mean, like I said, when you're fighting, your number one receiver is barely getting over 1,000 yards in AJ Brown, and then your second guy who is just as good. That means his ceiling is only going to be 1,000 yards too, maybe. So it's just, and I don't know if he's. That's what I'm saying, I don't know if he's undervalued at this point, just because not the talent. The talent's exceptional talent. It's just the quarterback's ability to get it there sometimes, you know?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I recognize and see everything that you're just laying out for us. I've been watching this dude since 21. And I know the sky is the limit. I know if one guy decides to take off for a few weeks, read some more books, we have ourselves a wide receiver one. But we can't bank on that. So where Devontae Smith is going in drafts right now is pretty fair. And he's only going there also. Let's not forget this, because we have other players that have now leapfrogged him in terms of the board. They're going ahead of Devontae Smith.
I think Tess going ahead of him.
In some cases, yeah, he is in the same round, going ahead of him.
Wow, that's crazy.
Shepard Bay. I see now. I'm putting the Twitter to the two, Mr. Magic. I love it. Shepard Bay. Love it. Sniper, you're gonna have to maybe go get the quarterback. Oh, actually, no. If people are hoarding quarterbacks right now, Sniper, and you only have none, that means you could probably get one next round. But I don't know if I would have the moxie to wait like that. You gotta take what I would be doing. You have to look at everyone's roster. Who needs a quarterback? Who? How many people don't have quarterbacks? And then you could kind of like estimate. Oh shit. Okay, that's one person that might take a quarterback. That's two people that might take a quarterback. Now these two people that don't have quarterbacks might double it up on their turn. So that's four quarterbacks. Yeah, that's the way that's what's going through my mind when I'm drafting and looking at positions. How many positions have they already drafted? Right, Rhino? How many wide receivers or running backs have you drafted? You've only drafted one running back, and it's the 7th round.
Yeah.
You're most likely taking a running back. And then, of course, there's some other factors, but you got to know the people. But that exercise is that much more important for quarterbacks, though. Definitely. Jalen Waddle. Is this the year? Is this finally the year?
I think so. I think he's coming back.
I mean, we're saying the same thing every year.
He goes as far as Tua goes. You know.
But it's only been 1 year, right? Like, it's only been really 1 year since he's been bad. He was only bad last year. 2 years ago, he was still pretty good. I think the writing was on the wall when they were trying to ship Jonnu out of there. They're trying to get the guys they pay real money to the football. So with Jonnu finally gone, and it's only Tyreek who's probably on his way out too, A-Chain and Waddle. I think Waddle's gonna be right back like he never left. He's got to stay healthy.
It's more than that for me. It is because this guy, I'm talking about head coach, seems absolutely hell-bent on doing the status quo. And what the status quo has been for years now is get the ball out of Tua's hands immediately and fire it to Tyreek Hill. With Jalen Waddle is just getting like secondary, tertiary last season, like designed plays, designed looks. He seems hell-bent. If Tyreek Hill still makes this team, week one, it's going to be the status quo. And Jalen Waddle's never going to he's never going to be that wide receiver one, I don't think. It's compelling. It's compelling because, like, on one hand, yeah, okay, fine. You do have Cheetah, but I think he's way past. He's out of his prime at this point. And B, you have a really talented wide receiver in Jalen Waddle. He's talented. Yeah, yes. In 2023 or 4. No, it couldn't have been 20. Maybe he was 22 or 23. He had a really good season.
It was with Tyreek, right?
It was with Tyreek.
Yeah. He finished wide receiver 7. Yeah, so
it was under a full season of Tua's health. That was 23.
Right.
He was 22. But I mean,
yeah, you're right.
I mean, that's the ceiling. I mean, that's a great ceiling to have.
And he's an undervalued wide receiver at this point for sure. For the prospects of the upside, for the prospects, much like Devontae Smith, again, we're putting them side by side like we've done for years now. The prospects of, if they just reconfigure the scheme, reconfigure the offense to a certain extent, Jalen Waddle could feast because he's a very capable wide receiver. Ron, how many quarterbacks do you have?
I took the way the draft went. I was drafting 3rd. And I drafted Josh Allen, and then on the turnaround, I drafted Burrow just because the way the draft was going. Everybody was taking wide receivers, running backs, so I went quarterback. I ended up taking, I think I got Herbert in the 8th round, so I took 3 quarterbacks total.
Different strategy.
Yeah. I just let the draft come to me.
Also, Sniper. So one person has 3 quarterbacks. So they made a boneheaded move. You can't start 3 quarterbacks within the first 4 rounds. So they kind of made a boneheaded move. I doubt that other members of the league are going to now start drafting 2nd and 3rd quarterbacks. So they'll be. I understand a little bit of nerves that are kicking in. I don't know. I don't know if I would just be doing a nervous draft pick at this point either. That's why it's all for fun. It's a Scott Fishbowl. Of course, the Sniper wants to win. Husot. You ready, Husot? Are we fucking ready? Mr. Magic Goat. I didn't know Mr. Magic Goat was that. That handle. I love it.
Answer his question about. I think later on this week we're going to try to do a mock draft. So we'll let everybody know.
Good call. Mock draft later on in the week. Sniper took Adams. All right. Let's give her an applause. You didn't go for the quarterback out of fear. It wasn't the FOMO pick. It was you took probably one of the better players on the board, non-quarterback.
Yeah, just let the draft come to you. This draft, Sniper.
I bet like Bryce Young. When it's all said and done, Bryce Young will still be there. Michael Penix Jr. will still be there.
Yeah.
I bet you Jordan Love will still be there.
Aaron Rodgers will still be there.
Yes, there'll be quarterbacks there for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Flacco will be there. We'll do a mock draft. We'll do a mock draft for. I don't know if it'll be for a specific league, like a charity league. I don't know about that. You would not have made it back to me. Not in this league. Okay. Well, it's true. If she's drafted with a bunch of Wisconsinites, then probably not. Just like those in New York City are definitely going to draft.
And plus,
Garrett,
depending where she's drafted, now you get the third round reversal.
well, we love third round reversal. We're third round reversal people. I love that shit. Well, guys, I want to thank you very much for all coming. Sniper, Husot, the Mr. Magic Goat. Again, give us a like, subscribe to the Fantasy Goats. Got content coming to you every day now, almost every day now. Matthew Stafford.
Yep.
Yeah. All these things, you're going to get a bunch of guys that will be available to you in round 5 or 6 for that matter. Jared Goff.
Yeah. Brock Purdy.
Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
Because just like, here's the thing.
Love.
We will, Mr. Magic Goat, definitely. Here's the thing that you may not be considering. When those that are making like the panic picks on quarterbacks, now that they have those quarterbacks, they're looking at the other positions and seeing that that's getting thin. So now they're going to go and draft wide receivers, draft running backs. It's an ebb and flow. It goes both ways.
She's drafting third, so that third round reversal, man.
But we passed third round reversal at this point. Now it's just regular snake. You too, Sniper. All right, guys. Great stuff. We'll be back tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening.
Good night. Be a difference, make a difference.
Go Cubs.
Go Cubs.
Go Cubs.